There's nothing like being in the green room. This is where all the magic happens, and I'm super excited because we got the one and only Nika on the other side. Y'all got her bio, okay? So you can go read all about how wonderful she is. But let me take a moment, if I can, and let me ask Nika to tell us, who is she? Because I know that's on your mind. It's got to be on your mind. Who is this woman? But more importantly, what is she up to these days? Nika, tell them who you are.
Thank you, Joe, for having me this evening or late morning, early morning. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for tuning in. Who am I? I'm a family business consultant. I work in helping family businesses cross the generational bridge. So you move your business just not from your generation to the next generation and hopefully more generations and build a legacy enterprise. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria, all the way over in Africa, and it is 3:45 early in the morning, so I'm very, very perked and excited to be here this morning.
Yeah. Take a moment if you can. And I know we'll get into this topic, passing your business on. I know that's going to be cool. But take a moment, if you would, and talk about, the spirit of collaboration. Because one of the ways that you and I got connected through the power of these fiber optic lines right now, and we're together, you and I right now, we're together, is through collaboration. And one of our golden rules is collaboration crushes competition. That's one of our 12 rules of life. Collaboration crushes competition. So take a moment, if you would, and talk about Dr. Kim Warren Martin, who connected us, and why you collaborate with other folks.
Dr. Kim Warren Martin is an amazing lady, and she also imbibes the spirit of collaboration. Collaboration has changed my life, honestly, and it's propelled me. We have a proverb in Africa: if you want to do little, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that's what collaboration has honestly done for me personally and in my business. Dr. Kim and I connected. We both are on a mentoring program together, and our mentor really encourages us to partner up to see how we can support one another's missions. And she was so generous with her networks and with her expertise, and I also did the same. And what came out of that, she introduced me to you and gave me this great opportunity to come right in front of your audience and to share my expertise with you to help you, those of you that are seeking to cross the generational bridge. What do I mean by that? To see that your business will outlive you and be able to bless not only this generation, but also the next generation and leave an amazing legacy. So collaboration has been a key value of mine. And it's something that I seek to do more and more and more in my personal life and in my business. And I've seen great, amazing results as a result of that.
I love the way you talk about that. Tell folks, they might be curious, what's your big why in life right now? I mean, I know we're going to get into this whole passing your business on to the next generation, allowing future generations to benefit. We'll get into that when we get into the main segment, but we're in the green room, so we get to ask any question we want. And they might be wondering, Che, what is Nika's big why? Like, why does she get up and do what she does every single day?
Great question. I see too much poverty in the African community and in the African American community. And business is a great way, a wealth tool. But what I see often is that a lot of business owners will build great businesses and have great wealth during their lifetimes. But unfortunately, where I'm from, only 2% of those business owners will successfully move that business and the wealth to the next generation. And what does that happen? What does that mean? What happens is that the next generation are left to fend for themselves. And out here, it's quite mean out in the streets here. It's not games here, right? It's really difficult to build a business. It's really difficult to have a good standard of living working in a 9 to 5. And that really grieves me. I want to see an emergence of Black wealthy owners. I want to see sustainable Black enterprise. I want to see sustainable Black wealth, right? And it's really important, not just because of the pockets and the financial security, but it's also the entire ecosystem that gets sustained with that. So when you're a business owner, you're employing folks, you're supporting communities. The way you think and you invest is very different from a corporate, right? And out in Africa, the way to sustain sustainable growth and reverse poverty is through communities, through activities down, micro level as opposed to macro level. And that's really my why is can we see more sustainable businesses so we can see more sustainable wealth in the Black communities? And also, can we see more sustainable businesses so we can showcase our culture more proudly across the world, right? It's important. There's been a lot of conversation, right, about, Black Lives Matter and making room for other cultures. But you know what? It gives permission for the next generation to fully imbibe and authentically hold on to the fullness of who they are. I've been in spaces and places where in my life I felt like I don't belong and I have to water down who I am and try to mimic those that I thought had permission to be. And I think there's something very sad about that. I think there's something so rich about our culture. There's something the world needs to learn from us. And likewise, we need to learn from others. So it's really about empowering wealth. And it's also about culture and identity.
Said so well. I'm super excited for Dawn is out there. Thanks for joining, by the way. We got a show to get going. What's up, Michael, up in New York? New York, so nice. They named it twice. It's so happy to have you. This guy's always there, by the way, and all of you are tuned in. We're going to get going. We got a show to get going, Nika, on the other side. So we got to get going in 5 is my favorite thing to do. 4, 3. I love this. 2. I'm going to see you on the other side. 1, we got a show. We'll be right back, ladies. Promise I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Well, it's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission is really provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And I like to always start off every episode almost talking about the 3 visions I believe that you have. I believe first, you have a vision for yourself. There's a certain lifestyle that you want. It takes resources. There's a certain car that you want to drive. It takes resources. There's certain food that you want to eat. It takes resources. That means you need some revenue to make that happen. And then the second vision I believe you have is you have a vision for your loved ones, the ones that you care the very, very most about. And some of you want to write a check for someone's health care insurance. It takes resources. Others of you want to send your kids to a school of your choice. It takes resources. And many of you out there right now, you get up every single day and you want to write a check for a cause you believe in. And without revenue, you can't purchase those resources. And then the third vision I believe you have is you have a vision for those people out there, way out there, that you were called to serve. And I always talk about Noah in the Bible, right? Because even if you're not a believer, you should be able to relate to this. But imagine if you're Noah in the Bible. And he could have got started, by the way. He could have said, look, I'm going to get my own little boat over here, put my family in there, a couple of chickens, some goat. I know y'all want some hogs, some of y'all. And I'm going to be just fine. But no, he had a vision. It was much bigger than him. And that might be you right there. And imagine if Noah was getting started on that big vision. And someone said, yo, Noah. They did say yo back in the day, by the way. There's no hammers in the house. No hammers. Okay, that's nobody. Noah, Shorty, over here. They did say Shorty back in the day. Over here, there's hate to tell you, there's no nails in the house. No hammer, no nails. Rule number 1 is I never pattern. No, there's someone all the way in the back. And they say, no, there's no wood and there's no people. Good luck on this mission. And maybe that's you right now. You've got a big heart and you want to pass this on to future generations. You don't know how to do it. Don't worry. This morning, this evening, this afternoon, no matter what time it is for you, wherever you are in the world, the one and only Nika is going to bring it down for you. So Nika, what's up? How are you?
I'm awesome this morning. Thank you so much for having me.
I love it. See, it's morning somewhere. It's early morning somewhere. It's nighttime somewhere else. What time is it? Where are you broadcasting in from?
I'm broadcasting from Lagos, Nigeria. It's 3:54 a.m. So
It's still early.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
See,
So,
4 a.m. People
yeah.
are getting up. They're just getting up right now. Or they're going to bed. So it doesn't really matter. We're at the right place at the right time. Look, this topic. Why this topic? Why now? Like, you can pick any topic to have a conversation about, but you said, no, I want to talk about this. So for all the entrepreneurs that are out there, all of the dualpreneurs that are watching right now, why did you pick this topic? Why is it important?
This is a topic that sets me on fire. This is a topic that I believe is very important at this hour. I love to see businesses outlive the founders and bless not only their current generation, but the next generation of their families, of their employees, of their communities. And I think it's critical that folks start thinking about building their businesses with the end in mind, building their businesses to see a legacy business. So I have a construction background, I've got a family business in construction. And before we start constructing, we have a plan. We know how high we want the building to be. We have, architectural drawings. We've got that vision in our minds, right? And I think it's important for business founders to have the same. So as you're building your business, have a goal in mind. I want a 100-year business. I want a 200-year business, whatever that vision is. And then you start to work backwards to build towards that. And so I'm trying to sensitize y'all. So you start to think more long-term, more legacy. Think about your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. Think about the communities that you're serving and seeking to continue to serve them. So that's why I love this conversation. It really lights me on fire.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love it. You talked about your family. What made you want to get into the business and do it with them? I mean, sometimes I have, my adult children now. I'm doing one thing. They want to be totally on the other opposite. So you can't just leave us hanging out there. You got to give us a little bit of the backstory, and then we'll talk and do a deep dive into how folks can how they can build the business correctly, and then how do they pass it on correctly. But what interests you the most about being in the business with your family?
Yeah, so I was in corporate for many years in London, and I was in accountancy in Deloitte, and I honestly loved the environment, but it wasn't my passion. It didn't light me up. I was so bored. And I remember having a conversation with my father. So my dad was back in Nigeria, and he was like, you need to come out to the real world. Perhaps you're bored because you're locked up in a little room and just learning about business from your 9-to-5 desk. You need to come out into the real world. And so I did. I was only supposed to come for 3 months to discover what my passion was and then go back to college and do my MBA. But as soon as I got to the real world in Lagos, and the energetic entrepreneurial environment just captivated me, I loved it. And I decided to stay and started working very closely with my father. But what I loved about it was that I was spending my time with my loved ones. I was spending time building a business that, wasn't just somewhere that I'd go in from 9 to 5 and clock out, but really was near and dear to my heart because it was building financial security, not just for my generation, but for generations to come. And I loved that being back in Nigeria, I was being part of the movement to reverse poverty because, as a business owner, whether you think about it or not, you're employing people, and those people are also impacting on their ecosystems and their local communities. In absence of your employment, they won't find a job out here. It's really difficult. The poverty is real. Nigeria is a poverty capital of the world, unfortunately. So that was the reason why I just absolutely fell in love with the whole family business sector is I had a first-hand experience in working with my family, and I really loved it. I found it really enriching. I found it really motivating and inspiring. And I think there are more folks out there like myself that are stuck in some office and perhaps need to consider working with their families, if not full-time, but not necessarily full-time, but sometimes just submitting their ideas from the sidelines.
I love that. I love how you mentioned that. I love how you say that. For those folks that are out there watching right now, there's so many folks that are watching out there. Regina, thanks so much for tuning in, by the way. She's out there. Barbara Beckley is in the house. I got to connect with Barbara, by the way. She's a super amazing individual and has her own program as well. And I know you're in Nigeria, so you do, you don't always get up at 4 a.m. and to be on these type of shows. But she has a show that's probably more conducive to you. I think it's more in the morning. And so many other incredible individuals that are watching. Thank you all that are watching right now. Do us a favor. You can pay this message forward. Hit the share button. Or copy the link right there, and take the link and paste the link out there on your social media page. Paste it into your private group. Pay this message forward. Please share this message right now, and let's help another entrepreneur that not only want to grow their business, not only want to make a difference where they are, but they want to position themselves to pass it on to the next generation. Nika, I know this is going to be a crazy question, and it probably addresses the elephant in the room, but what's one of the challenges that faces business owners from passing it on to the next generation? I mean, it sounds like it should be like, well, what do I do with it? So what's one of the challenges that holds us back from doing it?
The difficulty in pulling back, the difficulty in letting go. Our businesses are like our babies, and I've got 2 babies, and I always find it very difficult to let go. I'm going on vacation next week, and I'm like, God, who will look after them? They can't look after them the way I do, And you all, business owners typically have built this business from scratch, and they've got all this experience and expertise, and they've been at the center of all the decision making, and a lot of the decision making can be intuitive as opposed to kind of data driven and systematic. So when it comes to the point where it's like, right, I want to retire and I want my son or daughter or someone else to come in and take over me, quite often business owners find it difficult to let go and trust that the successor in line has what it takes to move the business forward. And then on the other side, you've got the incoming potential successor who will typically struggles to have their voices heard. They may have new ideas on how things can be done differently. Maybe we need to use more tech. Maybe we need to digitize. Maybe we need to professionalize and what have you. But they're having a difficult time having their voices heard. And so this can create a gulf between the 2 generations where they both don't see eye to eye. They have different perspectives, different priorities, and collaborating can be a bit of a challenge. And that can be very frustrating for both generations. And that lack of collaboration really stops the business from moving forward beyond the current generation. So it's all behavioral.
It's all behavior. So what is one of the recommendations you give for someone out there like, okay, she just described me, guilty as charged. So what is a strategy she has, Shay? Can she give us one strategy at least that I could start doing now so that I can prepare my business to pass on to the next generation? Please share one strategy with us.
Seek to make yourself redundant in the business. I know that sounds strange to many folks, but build your business as though you're not needed. And if you're a business owner and you can take off a month of working and not look at your phone and not interfere with your business, you're on the right track. So we want to create systems and procedures and empower other successes within the business. So that comes to strategy, that comes down to corporate governance, that comes down to a consultative decision-making framework, a data-driven one as opposed to intuition. Intuition is great, don't get me wrong. I'm very intuitive. But quite often what happens is decision makers make this decision up here and in here and don't communicate how they arrived at that decision. And so what happens is the rising generation of successors don't really trust their own decision-making capabilities and their own leadership. And they're like, well, sometimes he did this, sometimes he did that, sometimes she did this, sometimes she did that. And I really don't know what to do in this situation. And that lack of confidence stops them from even coming forward. So seek to make yourself redundant. And then on the side of the successor, seek to honor and to appreciate all that the founders brought to the table. So quite often the successors are their kids. And it's difficult to navigate this whole boss dad, boss mom situation, right? There's quite often a lot of emotion on the side of the successors. We can bring baggage from the kitchen into the boardroom. It's important to delineate between, personal issues and business issues, but also in the process and the eagerness to want to change things, to want to move things forward, and to want to see that this business will stand the test of time and become future-proofed, and we need to digitize, we need to innovate, and what have you. It's important not to become a critic of your parents, but to be questioning, but to ask questions. Ask questions that lead them to arrive at the right destination. So you are seeing the end in mind, but they're not there yet. And everyone seeks to be their own hero. No one wants to be told and to be pushed along and told what to do, right? So empower them, ask them questions, let them arrive at the destination on their own. Because quite often, as a successor, you're sold on what needs to be done. You've been thinking about this thing for quite a long time. It's all here and it's all here, but you're rushing to do the what, right? Like in Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why. It takes a lot of discipline to kind of hold back and start with the why. Why is this important? Why is it important we build a legacy business? Why is it important we professionalize and institutionalize? Why is it important we think about tech? Why is it important we think about diversity and inclusion? Why is it important we think about legacy? It's really difficult, it takes a lot of discipline to not rush the what. But quite often, folks are not there yet. They need to stew in the why, and then the what becomes a lot more of an easier conversation. So yeah, it's really about listening skills as well, listening well, becoming a great listener, seek to be understood, seek to understand, and then to be understood. That's by the great Stephen Covey. That has been a life changer for me because I was the next gen myself. I worked with my father, like I said, and quite a lot of the time I was the critic. I was the one, questioning and marking and saying, well, this wouldn't have worked in corporate, and this business doesn't make, doesn't make that standard that I had in my mind for what our family business needs to be. But it was until I understood that my dad had his own perspective, which was shaped by his own experiences. And he also had a lot that I needed to learn from him. He built this business from scratch. It's not easy, right? I had to honor that. I had to learn from him. I had a thing or two to learn about resilience, about grit, about hard work. I had to understand the culture. I've been in the UK for many years. I had to understand the suppliers, the customers, the way they thought. And so it really takes humility to just kind of step back, lean in, listen, seek to understand, and then you'll be understood.
Wow, said so well. Well, congratulations. You're part of the family business over there. You're making things happen in Nigeria, all the way from the UK, by the way. But hey, at the end of the day, it's working for you. So thanks so much for sharing those words of wisdom, if you would. We're going into a segment that's one of our core values here. And for those folks out there watching, like Tracy Mayfield, thanks a lot for joining out there. Roosevelt Morris is in the house. Thanks a lot, Roosevelt, for being here, by the way. Tara, I saw you out there. Thank you for joining. And so many of you out there who are tuned in right now and paying very, very close attention. We're talking about passing on the business to the next generation and how important that is. We're moving into a segment now that's one of our core values, by the way, Nike. And one of our core values is today is my January 1st. That's one of our beliefs. And for those folks that know what I'm about to do, know what I'm going to do right now, look right below the video, and write those words. Today is my January 1st. Today is my January 1st. And for those folks that are curious, Shay, when you say today is my January 1st, what are you even thinking about? What does it mean? Well, today is my January 1st represents one of those calendar days, not January 1st, but any day that we make a decision. And the decision could change the trajectory of our life. And there's probably 1,000 decisions, and any one of them could change the trajectory. You make a decision, you're going to work out. That's a January 1st moment. You remember what that was like, don't you? Or you make a decision, you're going to binge watch Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, whatever it is for you. That's a January 1st moment. You make a decision, you're going to eat hamburgers and French fries, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce. That's a January 1st moment. My son's got to have hot sauce. Or you make a decision, you're going to open up the refrigerator. And inside that refrigerator, there's some kale. There's some Brussels sprouts. There's some carrots. That's a January 1st. So today is my January 1st is a fresh start. It's a do-over. It's my past. My past no longer equals the future. The question I have for Nike, she's there right now, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what goes through your mind?
Fresh start, empowerment. I'm a perfectionist, and I have very strong ideas in my mind as to what I want my results to be. But sometimes that in itself can be crippling and can stop me from taking the right action when I feel like I'm just 60% of the way there. I haven't gotten to the goal I have in mind, but I repeat to myself and I tell myself that the process that I put myself through is more important than the goal. So if I'm an athlete, right, it's more important that I eat well, I run well, I sleep well, I put in the work than I win the race. Because if I put in the work consistently over and over again, I'm more likely to win the race. So I have a new start and a new opportunity to put in the work. And I don't oppress myself with the results that I've gotten, but I give myself grace and an opportunity every day to start again and put in more work to get closer to my goal.
I love that, to get closer to my goal. And there's some folks out there, they're excited, just like they were excited back on December 31st, by the way, after a couple drinks on the back of a napkin. They wrote down their New Year's resolutions, and we know how that landed, right? And so I guess my question to you is, as you talk about all the things you're talking about, and you may have heard this phrase before, that consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key. And having said that, what do most people struggle with most? They struggle with consistency. I have two hands raised, by the way. So my question is, what's your secret formula for folks in order for them to be consistent? In order for them to hashtag stay the course?
Mm-hmm. That's a really, really great point. I tell myself I'm at war. The game of an entrepreneur is like one of war. I feel like I'm a soldier. And so what I do is I need to get into community with other soldiers. I can't be alone. So I'm part of communities where I have accountability, which is critical. So I keep going, I keep running, I keep fighting. And because I'm at war, there are many battles in a war. So it's important that I'm consistent throughout those battles. And if, I seek to win small battles and I don't get overwhelmed by the thought of this huge war. So I break down my goals into little goals and seek to win mini battles. And then the third thing is I'm very mindful of my mindset. So what's the point of me going to war if I think I've already lost the battle? So I start my war with the thought that I've won. So I've won in my mind, and then everything else comes afterwards. So, we are what we think. Our thoughts are so critical. And as entrepreneurs, we have to think abundance. We have to think that we're learners. We have to think that we're victorious. We have to think that we're resilient, and whatever situation will come our way, we will sail through it. We will be enterprising enough to find a solution. So those are my 3 ways. Get in community, seek to win your battles, as opposed to thinking about the big war, because that can be overwhelming, and win in your mind. Win in your mind first.
Win in your mind first. Win in your mind first. For those folks out there, do me a favor. Hit the share button. Copy, paste the link. Pay this message forward. We believe in the giver's economy. The person outgives the competition, out-earns the competition. The person outgives the competition, out-earns the competition. So please hit the share button. Pay this message forward to another little boy or little girl or big boy or big girl that's out there right now that wants to be able to pass this revenue on and business on to the next generation. Nike, as folks are listening, do me a favor if you would. Answer 2 questions. Number 1, what type of clients does your firm work with these days? That's number 1, because somebody out there listening might be like, hey, I wonder if she's taking on any clients. Who does she work with? What type of problems do they have? And number two, how can they best connect with you so they can stay in this conversation over and beyond today?
Amazing. So the clients that I typically work with are those that have built their businesses for a generation and are now thinking of retiring and passing on the reins to the next generation. So, but maybe having a difficult time letting go, like I said, maybe having a difficult time trusting that whoever they're going to hand over to have the expertise and the experience to take the business forward. And on the other side, I also work with the aspiring successors, those that are seeking to, take over the businesses, whether that's their children or non-family staff, and helping them to be leadership ready, helping them to be CEO ready, and to have the right leadership skills, behavioral skills, entrepreneurship skills to be able to move the business forward. And if that's you, you can connect with me on my website, which is www.nikeanani.com. That's NikeAnani.com. And over there, you can reach out to me on email or my social media. I'm available. We can have a call.
Wow. I'm encouraging all of you that are listening right now, have the call. Have the call. Worst case scenario, you show up and 15 minutes is not a good use of your time. Okay, that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you show up and there's one idea. There's one relationship that becomes a lifetime benefit. I promise you the worst case scenario will not happen. There'll be a good use of all of y'all time. I promise you that. We're now moving to a segment called Rapid Fire. And Rapid Fire is when we ask any question on our mind and you can answer it or you can put a pass if you would. And one of the questions I ask almost every single night, I think it's been every single night, is this one question. And that is, of all the mentors you had along this journey of life, and you've had so many mentors, by the way, what's one lesson that you can learn from any of your mentors that we could all benefit from? Now, as you're out there watching and listening right now, y'all can lean in. Like all of you out there, lean in. Like y'all all come close. Yeah, come close. There you go. There you go. And as you're coming close, she's going to drop it on you. So share with them. What's one lesson you learned from your mentor that we may not meet your mentor, but we'll be able to benefit from their lesson?
It's not about you as an entrepreneur. It's really about the people that you're called to serve. And a lot of the time when we sabotage ourselves and don't put ourselves out there, it's because we're thinking about how people will perceive us. Instead, if we truly imbibe servants' hearts and think that our community need us at this moment, you forget about all the mindset issues and just plunge right in there and go out there to help those that you're called to serve. And that mentor that taught me that is Cole Fink. He's from Australia and he mentored me very closely for a couple of years.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing. I certainly appreciate that. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You could do a lot of the stuff with your time, but what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur?
Relationships, connections. For me, business is all about connections, and people really give me joy. And I've been blessed to connect with such amazing, diverse people who I learn from. So people may think I'm the teacher. I am the teacher in some instances, but I'm also the student. I'm learning from you. I'm learning from your amazing entrepreneurship skills. I'm learning from your people management skills. I'm learning from your life values. It truly inspires me and it touches me and makes me want to help even more families out there.
You know, one of the questions people normally look for in these type of settings is, what's one of the books that really had an impact on your life, right? I mean, we'll take the Bible out the picture. That's in a separate planet by itself. We'll take Think and Grow Rich and one of those, put that to the side. But when you think just off the top of your head of all the many books that you read, what's one that's just top of mind to you? Like, I'm feeling that one in this moment. And here's why I want to share how that book's impacted me. Which one is top of mind for you right now?
So many, but recently, Vex King and it's Good Vibes, Good Life. How self-love is the key to unlocking your greatness. I think for the longest time in society, we've been told to sacrifice self to serve people the most. And I took on that mentality, and that meant that I can sabotage myself to be able to be of greater service to people. And I think that's so wrong. And in this book, Vex King really pushes on about how self-love, self-care is critical for you to be able to serve people to the greatest of your capacity. And it really changed my mindset completely.
Love it, love it, love it. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world and learning and teaching and growing? What do you do just for fun?
Oh, lots of things. I travel when the world was normal. I watch lots of Netflix with my husband and my kids. I love eating out. I love food. I love brownies. I love the spa. I love live music. What else? There's lots of things I love to do for fun. I'm not just all teaching about family business. I have fun too.
Oh, that's so good to know. As we come down the home stretch, I'd like to say first, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You certainly have a heart to give. I mean, just sacrificing your sleep. I mean, you only have so much time, and now you only have so much money, and you're giving us the most precious resource you can give us, which is your time. So thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So that's very, very important. So I'd like to turn it over to you. We got to have you back, obviously. We've got to do that at a time that works for you, right? But I would love for you, if you would, to tell them once again how they can connect with you. That's very important. And then more importantly, your final thoughts, your final comments that maybe to inspire those out there. And as you're watching right now, you want to know, how do I give a digital applause? Like, how do I give a digital, not a clap, but a digital applause? Hit the share button. Hit the watch party button. Nika showed up for one reason, or really two reasons tonight. Number one, to serve, and number two, to add value. She's here to serve and add value. And isn't that so important? Doesn't that mean a lot? So, Nika, I'm going to turn it over to you to have your final thoughts. Again, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Firstly, Che, I've really enjoyed this conversation. Back to what I said about winning in your mind is so critical. And to be able to win in your mind, you have to have clarity of vision. You need to know what it is that you're building towards. Like I said, you start with the end in mind. You need to have a picture of that architectural drawing of this building that you're building. So what does that end look like? Have that and hold that, treasure that in your heart, and then start to work towards that. And for folks that like to connect with me, you can reach me on my website, www.nikeanani.com. That's NikeAnani.com.
Wow. So thanks so much for joining. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you again, Nika. Dr. Kim Warren Martin, shout out to you. By the way, you're the best of the best, successful and fulfilled. Successful and fulfilled in the house. That's your shout out, by the way. We certainly appreciate you. And you, the viewer, you out there hit the share button. Thank you so much. Hit it again. You that tunes in, we appreciate you. You're a winner. You're a champion. You've got greatness inside you. And today is your January 1st. If you're an entrepreneur, you can build that business. Today is your January 1st. You can pass it on to future generations whom you will never meet. So for you, I say this. Put your sunglasses on. The future is so bright. And for you, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. With that being said, my name, for those folks that's curious who's doing all that yelling, is Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. Remember, time is long. Life, on the other hand, is very, very short. So you got to live in the moment, and you got to make it count. God bless, and we wish you success. Thanks a lot, Nika. We appreciate you. Bye-bye, everyone. We out of here. Peace. I made to my mom. I only did this message for one person, and that's my mom. This is for you, Mom. Love you. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right,
Check.
Shay Brown.
Mic check, mic check.
All I do is win, no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up.
Yes. Yeah.
And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win.
Yeah.
Thank you. God bless.